Don't you guys just love Indians? Well, I do. Wait, wrong script. Do you guys know who Addis Pro is? Well, if you're watching this video, you probably do.
It's like, what?
If you do know who Addis Pro is, then you may know he has a What If Civilization Started Over series. And in that series, there is a beautiful country called India. India is a very important country in the world right now, and that is because it may just be the strongest country in the world, and it is one of the countries who isn't fascist or communist, which is kind of surprising right now. But what if we ignore all this important democratic stuff, and we turn them into a very hot and sexy fascist country? Wait. India is in their election season, and it is a bit controversial. The fascists are rigging these elections very badly, like the ones in Europe where the communists and the Dutch team are rigging the elections around other European countries. It's like that, but the fascists are doing it way more. And in February 2015, the fascist candidate has officially won over India. Almost as soon as he gets into power, he sets up India and turns them into a fascist dictatorship country. And about a year later, they begin their expansion, targeting the South Purple Indian country. The Indians line up their troops on the border of the Purple Indian country. They send their troops in and very quickly taking the capital city. The Indians then sweep through the rest of the country. Do remember they are the strongest country in the world. And soon after, the Purple Indian country becomes a part of India. The Indians, after feeling this expansionist rush, they really like it. So what they're going to be doing is going after the rest of India. With their troops already being down inside of southern India, we see them moving into parts of the yellow team and almost fully blitzing through the teal team. There is a little bit of skirmishing on the teal team border, but they go ahead and make an encirclement over inside of the yellow team area. It turns out the reason these countries are holding back against India so well is because they may be getting supplied by an outside country, that being Bangladesh. But even Bangladesh is not strong enough for the Indians, as we see them taking the capital of the teal team and taking the rest of the country. With more Indian troops arriving inside of southern India, we see them fully pushing back against the yellow team and almost getting them completely off the Indian peninsula. One of the bloodiest battles of India and this whole fascist regime is going to be taking place, and it's actually one of the most deadly battles inside of Indian history. Tons of Indian soldiers die, and it's just not good. But the Indians do manage to win this battle, and they push out the yellow team over to Sri Lanka. After this, a bunch of naval landings are going to be made around the areas of Sri Lanka as they fully push out the Indians, and, well, they fall. India then is going to go ahead and annex both of them, turning them into just India. There is no southern Indian country left. The Indians now have a lot of their religion, and that is what they're aiming for, encasing all of their religion underneath one strong empire. And they would be fine right here, and they were actually thinking about calling it quits right here. But there is one more country that they want to get revenge on and unite underneath one religion. And that country is Bangladesh. If you remember me saying, Bangladesh was the ones who aided the two southern Indian countries inside of that war. They are very against India's expansion and their fascism. So we see Indian troops cross over and start entering into Bangladesh. But Bangladesh is a very strong country, and they are holding off against the Indians very well. They are the toughest opponent the Indians have gone up against yet. And for a while, the Bangladeshi are actually holding off against the Indians and pushing back a little bit. But then, the worst thing that could happen for Bangladesh happens. The Vietnamese are now invading them. Once the Indians realize what's happening, they immediately put crap ton of troops on the border and blitz through and take the capital. We just see both India and Vietnam try to take as much land as possible, with India getting the most of it. In a peace treaty, we see the Indians getting most of the land, but Vietnam does get a lot as well. You know, India said that this would be the last country they invaded, but that was very wrong. Only about a year and a half after they invaded Bangladesh, they line up their troops and begin the invasion of the Persian country. Persia was not expecting this. They believed even though India was fascist, they had good relations. How much they were wrong, as their capital city gets taken. The citizens try and fight back, but they're getting killed by the fascist troops. But with other democratic countries declaring war on India, a huge wall of defensive lines starts to get set up inside of Persia. And soon enough, the Persians manage to hold off against the Indians. Hey, Vietnam, watch out. Vietnam believed they had it good with India as well, but they were wrong. 3 million troops are now flying into Vietnam. The Vietnamese try to hold back, but it is no use as they fall. The new land they captured inside of World War III gets cut off from the rest of Vietnam. As the Indians start entering into that land, we see the Orange Chinese country rebel away. India and the southern Chinese country decide to team up and take down Vietnam. But the Vietnamese are now arriving, and they're actually engaging in guerrilla warfare to take down the Indians. About 1 million troops have died inside of Vietnam from India, and now, in the Persian front, they are losing. Now, Tibet is invading them, and it is going very badly, although the Himalayas are serving as a great shield for India. China is now in this war, and they're sending troops. Even worse, their once kind of ally, Ethiopia, is now invading them through Sri Lanka. They never really liked India. Even though they turned fascist, they still never liked them. The Vietnamese are now pushing back. South China has officially broke relations with India. The Indians are now pushed out of Persia. Tibet is now pushing through into Indian territory very quickly. They then put the capital city on siege. In the following months, we see the rest of India falling over to Ethiopia, Vietnam, and Tibet. About another year goes by, and they're still trying to take the capital city of India. But finally, it falls to Tibet, and a peace treaty is established. So first, we need to look at the Indian puppet state that was inside of Mesopotamia. I see 3 things that can happen, and the first one is that it gets split between China and Norway. Next is that we see that same split thing between Norway and China, but China is going to release their Mesopotamia puppet state. And the third and final one is Norway and China work together to bring this red puppet state together and make it a new country. I do not think the Dutch will even think about letting it go yet, but who knows. Next, moving over to Persia, we see the Persians getting a lot of their old Persian lands back. Quick warning for these next couple images. I left the provinces on for some reason, so I'm a stupid for that, but yeah. Moving over to Tibet, we see them getting some southern lands from India, but not everything that they took over they got. That is because we have 3 Indias popping up. We see the Indian Federation, or the Democratic Republic of India, and that is set up in Tibet's name. Next, we see the Indian People's Republic, and these guys are actually communist. That is the India that is furthest right, and they are actually set up in Vietnam's name. We have southern India, and these guys are fascist, set up by Ethiopia. A lot of conflicts are going to rise inside of this area of the world. Vietnam is going to get a little bit of land. And finally, the South China is also going to get their independence, and China is going to be sworn to protect them. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this animation, make sure to comment below and like and subscribe. worked hard on making this, so I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And I want to do more content like this in the future, so please let me know if you guys like it. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video I do. Goodbye. And a special thanks to our members, LaserTaze, Super Norby, Eddie, Gail Martinez, Green Team Mapping, PJ Likes Cheeto, King Cheese, and Dark Mapping. Thank you guys.